Welcome, Lewis. It's lovely to see you. So tell us what A levels you did at Sixth Form College.
It's lovely to see you too. I did physics, geology, maths, and further maths at Hereford Sixth Form, and they were all enjoyable. I had a great time there. So,
Fantastic. And how did you find the jump from secondary school maths to A level maths? Did you find it a big step up or did you find it a relatively easy transition?
there's definitely a significant jump from GCSE to A level maths, but it's definitely manageable. And the teaching at Sixth Form, yeah, it understands like people are from all different backgrounds, and yeah, that they're very helpful, and you quickly pick it up.
That is great. And I do think that because you doing kind of A level maths in a year is a huge amount of pressure, but actually you're right, the support you'll have is really good. And so tell us, what were you thinking of applying for when you were at sixth form college? Did you come into sixth form college thinking you were really bright, you were always aiming for the top universities?
I always thought in the back of my mind I wanted to go to an Oxbridge University. For my family and my background, it was definitely like ambitious, I should say. I kind of always had the drive to get there, and I've always had my sights on a geology related degree since I was young. I've been interested in like fossils and dinosaurs, etc. But I ended up initially applying for natural sciences at Cambridge, not really understanding that it wasn't quite the subject for me, because instead of it being more geology focused, it was a broad spread of every science, and I was less interested in other sciences than I was specifically geology.
Yeah.
So after a chat we had, actually, I changed my application from Cambridge to Earth Sciences at Oxford. I haven't really looked back since. So
I remember that conversation well.
yeah.
I think I read your personal statement. I was like, Lewis, I think you should be applying for Earth Sciences at Oxford. You clearly really love geology. And so, did your parents go to university? Tell us a little bit about your background. So, tell us about what you knew about university before you started applying.
None of my family actually have been to university before me, which made it uncharted water about what university life would be like in the experience. But I don't feel it hindered me in any way, especially the support there was at sixth form. It was just a new experience. So, okay, I didn't have the support from the family in terms of how university was going to be, but they were always supportive about me getting there, the work and everything I had to put in. So I didn't think it was a disadvantage personally.
Fantastic. And so, you're now doing Earth Science at Oxford. Which college are you at?
So I'm at St Edmund Hall. It's really fun. I mean, it's the perfect college for me, I think. It's quite small in space, but there's a lot of people. So you're always bumping into people you know, and it's always got a very friendly and welcoming atmosphere. And it's also quite well known for its sports. It was a big appeal for me. So I've joined the rugby team. Yeah, I'm having a great time there. So that really suited me well.
Oh, brilliant. And did you apply there? Because some people apply to a college and then get moved around.
No, I didn't actually apply there because the attitude I had at the time, I'd go open and I didn't really mind what college I ended up in as long as I was at Oxford. I thought, well, I'll give my best to go to Oxford. And I know it doesn't necessarily give you a better chance of getting in, but I thought I don't really mind where I go if I'm there. So,
And that's exactly it. If you don't particularly have a college that you've kind of been initially drawn to, and I have always found that those who go to Oxbridge, they just love the college they end up at. And you always think your college is the best, whichever one. So, what did you write about in your personal statement, if you remember?
it was largely focused about my interest for geology, which is, I think, a lot of what they're looking for, especially in Oxbridge applications. They want to see that you're extremely interested and invested in the subject you're applying for. So stuff like books I'd read about around the subject and my life experiences and work experience, volunteering, etc., that applied to geology. I had a small amount of extracurricular activities that I did in there, but it didn't take up a significant chunk of the personal statement. It was largely based on the subject. I just think it's amazing how it applies to everything around you. So like from the shape of the landscape to how the continents have changed position, and how we've even to how we've evolved through time from small little animals in the ocean to humans now. It just applies to everything. I mean, even space and like meteors, other planets, etc. Yeah, I just think it's amazing how it's all around us, like constantly.
And did you always have that interest? What were your lessons like at sixth form, or did you equally enjoy your subjects across all four?
Yeah, so really, I enjoyed all four subjects quite equally. I thought my A level experience in general was really good. There were certain subjects at GCSE which I wasn't so interested in.
Mm.
But at A level, getting to like specify in a smaller range of subjects was a real bonus for me because I knew from a young age what I wanted to do. It was really good to be able to specialize in it.
That is fantastic. And so what has been your favorite thing that you've learned this year?
We did a tutorial about the climate of early Mars, and it was a sort of a discussion about whether it was dry and hot to start with, or wet and cold, or wet and hot. It was really interesting because there's so many different possibilities, and because of how long ago the early atmosphere in Mars existed, it's really hard to put it together just through the evidence we have at the moment. But we looked at some of the craters. It's really cool to try and build a picture of other atmospheres from Earth. So I thought it was really cool.
And so do you have set modules or is it a lot of choice? How does the course work?
First year, there's set modules that everybody has to do. As you progress through the course, you begin to specialize in different areas a bit more, but it's generally very broad to begin with. I mean, because it's actually earth sciences rather than specifically geology,
Yeah.
we have, I think about 50% of the course in first year is based on geology, 25% is physics, biology, and chemistry, and another 25% is maths. So you're still very much involved in other sciences, which I actually think is a bonus because I did enjoy maths and physics at A level a lot, and the biology and chemistry that I've been doing at university has been really interesting as well.
Yeah. And I mean, that's fantastic as well, because as you said, you're so good at maths too. What kind of hints and tips would you give to someone in year 12?
I would say, especially if they're struggling a little bit, I had a few exams that went completely pear-shaped. Yeah, a lot lower than I could have expected for. But don't get discouraged. I think the main thing is take it as a sign that you need to just work a little bit harder on those certain areas, or specifically that subject, and you'll be absolutely fine. In terms of applying, I think if you read around the subject a bit, you kind of get a better understanding, and you sort of realize whether it would be for you or not. Never sell yourself short, because I almost didn't apply to Oxbridge at all because I didn't think like I was capable of it.
That's fantastic. And I think you are a testament to the kind of person who all it takes is that push. Also, I think what's really helpful is knowing that it doesn't always have to go brilliantly. And actually, it can be a journey and you can have some, errors along the way, but get there in the end. And have you had any financial support at university at all? If people were worried about the money for university, how have you found that?
The support at Oxford's been brilliant. So I come from a fairly low income background. However, there's a scholarship they do that gives you reductions on your tuition fees and help with your maintenance loan that really does just make life just as easy for everyone at university. So there's no worry about money at any point really, which is good because there's no extra stress
Yeah,
from finances while you're at uni. So yeah, it's been absolutely fine for me.
fantastic. Lewis, thank you so much for your time. It was lovely to chat to you.
Yeah, it was lovely to see you again. Thank you. Thank you for letting me do the interview.
Thank you.